Hello everyone, Lily here. Welcome to my channel, and for those returning viewers, welcome back. And today I'd like to do a video response that's been going around throughout all the channels recently, and it's the tarot cliché or tarot reader cliché that Anna at Astral Lady Tarot did. So I'd like to add my voice to everyone else, and like Laura at Aquamarine 18 did, I will add other questions that were asked somewhere else, and I might have one of my own at the end. So the first question was, do you have more than one version of a deck? Yes, like everybody else. I have the Rider-Waite-Smith. I have it in different sizes. I also have the Centennial, this one here, because it's just a deck that it's the one that made me a tarot reader, and I'm also a sucker for different colorations or reinterpretation, and this one is the Groovy Tarot, which has a psychedelic vibe to it and is actually a lot of fun. Question number 2, do you have backup decks? The only deck that I have a backup, if you could call it that, and I don't have it to show you right now because I'm not sure where I put it, but it's the Spirit Keepers Tarot. I have this version, and I have the edition that came after the Vitruvian edition, and I will be like a fan of Annabelle, like every fan of Annabelle. I've signed up for the third edition that she's coming out with. And what else? Do you have tarot tattoo? No, I don't have any tattoo, unlike most of the population these days. Do you drink tea? Yes, I drink tea, but if I leave the house, my preference is really coffee, decaf coffee at that. Crystals, I have some crystals, but I don't work with them. I don't know what to do with them, to be honest, and I can't be bothered to study. The only crystal I'm mostly familiar with actually is selenite, and just because it's a good crystal to tape against your temple when you have a headache. Tarot books, I have lots, and if I think about it, I'll insert a picture here of some of the tarot books, but because I have some in my bookshelf on the side here. And I also have a couple boxes of tarot books in my basement, just because I ran out of room. Tarot journals. I started keeping a tarot journal in the last year or two, but I don't have anything else, or much of anything else before then, even though I've been reading for a lot of years. Do you like shuffling? No, not particularly. It's not something I think about. Fairy lights? No, don't have any. I didn't even realize it was a thing, actually. Candles? Yes, I have candles, but I'm actually pretty particular of what I buy, and the only candle I like to burn here is from a local shop here that's called Wick Witch Candle and Bath Company, and this is actually one of their Christmas candles. So when they put out their new Christmas products in November, December, I actually stock up, and this is what I burn throughout the year, just because it's my favorite smell. Designated tarot space? Sort of. As I'm recording this in my office/studio/sewing room, and the table you see here, the white table, is where I do most of my reading. But it's a catch-all table in a sense. Like, this is where I do my bookkeeping. This is where I do my sewing. It's got a slot especially for to put the sewing machine in, all that stuff. So is it designated? I'm sort of, like I said. Now let's go into other questions from Kenneth. Unboxings. Yes, I've done unboxings. And I'm not particularly, I don't think I've ever done the box step though. Like, it's not something I noticed or that I remember myself doing. Compulsive Kickstarter deck buying. Yes, especially this spring. There was a period of a couple of weeks where I think I backed 3 or 4 Kickstarter campaigns, some of them that I'm still waiting for. Buying decks after watching someone else anti-hauling it. No, I can't say that's something that I've done. From James Feeney, predictive readings. Yes, I like to do predictive readings. I don't know how you can get away from it. Tarot cloths, bags, and boxes. I did make some tarot cloths. I never think about using them though. Bags and boxes. Bags when I really have no choice, because I actually prefer keeping them in their original box. And I've actually resorted, if I don't have a box, I'll actually look for food containers to store my decks in. Just because I like to see. The problem with tarot bags is that I hate having to take the tarot deck out of the bag to see what it is. And I know you can put a label, you can put a label on it and all that stuff. But that's why I like food containers, because they're either completely transparent or semi-transparent, that you can see what's inside. So that's my story on bags and boxes. Protocol around handling decks. I actually don't like people to touch my decks most of the time, except for my Rider-Waite, just because it's easily replaceable. I mean, some of the decks, I've been collecting are getting expensive, and I don't want anybody else to touch them and damage them. It's basically what it comes down to. It's not that I don't trust them, but accidents do happen. So if an accident's going to happen, it's because I'm guilty of it, not someone else. Do you use a Celtic cross? Yes, I use a Celtic cross. I use the one that I learned from my teacher, which is a little bit different than what we usually see. And he taught us how to tailor it to our needs, where, you play around with the questions and the card position meanings to get the answers you want. Cleansing and interviewing decks? No, can't be bothered. Juli at Peekaboo Rose had, one of the things is tarot travel bag. No, I don't actually travel with my tarot decks. I mean, that's why I like food containers for boxes, because if I'm going to take a deck, it's usually going to be my Rider-Waite, and it is in a food container that's waterproof. I'm mentioning this because when I used to walk to work, it was a 50-minute walk, and I remember one time I walked all the way in pouring rain, and by the time I got there, my bag was completely soaked. My backpack was completely soaked, including my tarot deck. And so that's why, I want a waterproof box. But when it comes to actually traveling and going on vacation, part of the fun for me is actually to go visit a occult shop or esoteric shop or New Age shop, whatever you want, and actually buy a tarot deck as a souvenir. So that's one of the things I do. Do I have a Purgatory box? Yes, I do. And it's been building up in the last while because as I've been going through my decks, I've been putting some aside, and well, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to be trading for them, selling them, or just giving them away. Because I have mass markets, I have independent produced decks. There's some outer print decks in there as well. And I think this is it. Oh, no. Actually, from Robin. Do I have a cat? I used to have a cat. Unfortunately, it died a few years ago. And actually, the picture of my avatar is the cat in question. And I would love a cat. There's no doubt about it. But my husband is allergic, which oddly enough, he wasn't allergic to the cat we did have. And I just don't want to get into the pattern of, adopting a cat and having to surrender it again. Because, my preference would be to go to our local humane society and adopt an older cat. And yeah, they've been through enough trauma without me bringing it home, bringing it here, and then finding out we have to give it back again. So unfortunately, I do not have a cat for that reason. And now to the one I want to add, and one thing that I've always associated as a cliche among tarot readers, and I'm surprised no one's mentioned it before, are I wear shawls. So, because it seems every picture of a tarot reader you see, whether it's in a movie or a picture, or especially at fairs, and it's wearing a shawl. So, as you can see, I'm wearing this one right now. I have shawls here. You can see them hanging over here, all knitted by yours truly. So, that's it for this VR. I'd like to thank Anna for putting it out there because it's a lot of fun, and everybody else that answered. And yeah, I've been enjoying them. And well, as usual, I'm later than most, but hey, better late than never. So until next time, have a good day.